Hello, Benita Bay Club members. EJ McDonnell here again with Hal Akins, our Director of Golf Course Operations. We're out here on the 13th tee with the lake bordering the 12th green right behind us on the Marsh Golf Course. We're exactly 1 week to the day from finishing up the final major sprigging of the golf course, Hal. So last week when you used the machines to sprig versus the hand sprigging, we were, what, about 10 days later than last year?
Yeah. Good morning, EJ. I think you picked a really good spot here. You got us positioned here on 13. We can see 13, we can see 9, we can see 12. I think you picked a really good spot here. Yeah, we were 10 days compared to Bay Island last year. 10 days later, but I don't see that being a problem, really. We've kind of stepped up our sprigging process this year a little bit. We double sprigged the last holes with the machine. And then we came back, our guys, as you know, we came back and we've already cut up a bunch of sprigs ourselves in the sodded areas that had been established for a while. And we've re-sprigged all of these holes back here by hand. So, for instance, I think I was telling you that number 12 is not even 3 weeks old today. It'll be 3 weeks old tomorrow. We just mowed it for the first time yesterday, which is really pretty remarkable.
And we'll get a great look at that when we do the flyover the holes too.
Yep, and 13 is going to be 2 weeks old today, and that it's at least 60% covered now. So we're well on our way. So I don't have any kind of concern with the grass being ready.
Yeah, we've kind of been talking about a little bit. We've shown the members how you kind of out here at House Farm, you harvest your own sprigs, and we go back in, and a lot that we learned last year that kind of helps speed up the process. And you were talking about by doing this extra hand sprigging on the fairways, you're saving about 3 weeks. So even though we were 10 days late, you're also 21 days ahead on the other end. So the net is about a week ahead of where we were last year with Bay Island.
I think so, yeah. I definitely think we're definitely further along with these last few holes than we were with the last few holes on Bay Island last year. So we did some like spot sprigging last year, and that we really saw that helped. And we did that when we started out on the first few holes, but once we got to like I don't know, about 3 or 4 holes into it, we just started re-sprigging everything. Once we had enough established grass to be able to do that, we started just sprigging everything by hand again. So the grass is going to be good. I don't really worry about that too much.
Yeah, so a big part of this whole project has been Dustin, who was the grow-in superintendent over on Bay Island last year. And I know he was really looking forward to a good clean summer this year, no huge projects. Well, he did such a good job, you brought him over here to Marsh to do this project this year. Let's go ahead and kind of show the members an interview you did with Dustin last week.
Okay, yeah, Dustin definitely, he did a great job for us last year. When you have that kind of experience and knowledge, you don't want to let it waste, right? So we put it to use again this summer, and so he took a lot of the things that he learned last year, and we put that into place. So he's done a really good job for us. He's an excellent superintendent, and I'm really proud of him. I love the guy. He's a great guy. He's done a really good job for the club, and I want the PIP members to really know who's out here doing the hard work, and he and his guys are the ones for sure.
All right. Well, let's take a look at that interview you did with Dustin.
I'm here with Dustin Free, the Marsh Course Superintendent. I think most of you recall that Dustin grew in the Bay Island course last year, and I recruited him to come over here because he did such a good job last year. I had him come over to do this one as well. And so, Dustin, you did go through last year on Bay Island, and that was successful, of course. So what did you learn last year that you implemented this year?
I think the biggest thing you learn is what to look for as you go through the process, how to manage the grass, how to manage your water, how to manage your fertility, and of course managing a new crew along with that. But I think that you learn timing. I think timing is everything, timing with the rains or timing with the insects, looking out for that. And so just looking for things that jump out at you, I would say.
Well, this is a new crew, but you did have a little bit of an advantage. You were the Marsh Course Superintendent.
That's right. 8 years. That's right.
That's right. So today we're going to sprig our last hole, and basically once the contractor sprigs the last hole, I kind of hand that off to you. So kind of walk them through the process when it's sprigged. What do you do next?
Yeah, so what we do is the contractor comes in and sprigs, and right behind them, or I should say before them, we throw down our pre-amendments, a little fertilizer, before they sprig it. Then they go through the process of sprigging it. Then we put our pre-emergent down after that. Then we water that in. And normally we let that go for a day, let the water run for the rest of that day. And we come back in and sprig behind those guys, which we didn't on Bay Island. We did some spots on Bay Island that were thin or needed a little help, but this year it worked so well that we went in right behind the contractor and started sprigging the holes, and it's worked out really well. Definitely speeds the process up.
And tell them about that little process there. How do you go about, hand sprigging these holes?
Yeah, so we'll go in and verticut vegetative propagation of the grass, and we get sprigs from that, and we'll come in behind those guys. We'll lay that down, put a nice coating on the ground, then we slice it in, normally one direction, and then from there we just take off.
Yeah, so we feel like that probably puts us ahead 2 to 3 weeks. So even though, like we were saying a while ago, even though we may be 10 days later in sprigging our last hole, through this process we are much further ahead, I believe. So these holes that we are doing here at the end are going to come along fairly quickly. So this hole behind us was sprigged 7 days ago, something like that. It hadn't been that long, so, and it's already really coming along well. So anyway, Dustin, I just want to tell you, I really appreciate all that you've done. You've done a great job so far, and I know you're going to continue to do a great job and bring this thing home. I got all the confidence in the world in you, and I'm really proud of you.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, great job with that Dustin interview. Like you said, he deserves a lot of the credit. We all know that you're ultimately in charge, but it takes a lot of hours out of him because you do have the other 4 golf courses to take care of. So why don't we go ahead and get to it, and let's go ahead and show the drone footage of holes 9 through 13 to the members.
Let's go, EJ.
All right. All right, Hal, this morning we're going to start off on hole number 9. First thing a lot of the members are going to see are those fairway bunkers out there. They're pretty dynamic. They really kind of frame the hole. But what I really love is this tee complex, how like the 5, 4, and 3 tee are all kind of more off to the right, which will challenge the golfer to maybe cut off part of the bunkers. But our number 2 and our number 1 tee are located more to the left, which means that you don't necessarily have to go over those bunkers. They're more on the side of the fairway there.
Yeah, we really took advantage of that opportunity to get those 1 and 2 tees over to where those bunkers weren't so much in play. But they still have to, they'll still have to maneuver around those first couple there for sure. But definitely not as challenging as it's going to be for the 3, 4, 5 tee player.
Yeah, and also one thing, as you begin doing the big mow out and we get all of our lines done out there between the rough and the fairway, is that lower right part is going to be fairway height too. So that's going to be a pretty neat little look right there, kind of like 12 Sable.
Yeah, well, those bunkers will be isolated, so you'll have a fringe of rough around those bunkers, and you'll have the fairway, like 2 levels of fairway there on both sides, and it'll really set those bunkers off. They're going to show really well.
Yeah, and then when you come around this corner here, and then you can see the wall and the lake.
I love the view from the approach shot here, looking across the green and seeing this wall on the other side of the lake. It's just an awesome view.
Just a great vista right there. And this green complex has changed quite a bit. Not anything majorly drastic, but that green has shifted over to the right and gotten a lot larger.
Yeah, the left side of the green's probably in the same place, but definitely it got enlarged over to the right a lot. I mean, this green is at least twice as big as it was, and maybe even a little bit more than that.
Yeah, so behind the green there we have a large area from the green to the wall, and that's going to be half fairway, and then we're going to put some nice rough there to stop the ball that's trickling. If it's flying across, it's still gonna take a dive, but a little bit of a save there.
We'll establish like a 5-6 foot width of rough there between the wall and the collar.
All right, well, let's head over to number 10. I know you're anxious to get over there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Hal, as we move into number 10, I know this is one of your favorite holes, so I'm going to let you, well, I'm going to try. Let you just go ahead and take it away here.
Well, I love this golf hole. I love the green complex. By the way, this hole was sprigged, the fairway portion of it was sprigged 3 weeks ago today, and I would say it's 90% grown in at this point. Now it's still going to need to mature, and the greens on these 9 holes, 7 through 15, they were sprigged 3 weeks ago today. So, and you'll see as we approach this green, you will see that it's already been mowed several times, and we just top dressed them day before yesterday. So what you'll notice is the large bunker on the right hand side of the fairway is no longer there, and we've replaced it with a smaller bunker that pinches in a little bit more in the fairway. And then you'll also notice up there by the green, we've kind of exacerbated the lower portion of the approach there as it leads up to the green. It used to have like a tongue of an approach that came across and
Sure.
connected the green with the fairway. We eliminated that and created that lower moat in front. And then we've added a small saving bunker on the left corner there as well. I think these bunkers at the green really turned out well. You look at the shadows on them.
Yeah, and one of the things we've been talking about too is that we're really looking forward to when we can start really putting the different fairway cuts in and really get some good definition on these golf holes. And that area right in front, that's going to be an area that is going to be cut to fairway height and they're going to be able to bounce it in, right? So,
Yep.
even though the bunkers look mean, that opening right there is pretty large to be able to bounce it in there. And it's a really large green that also doesn't have a lot of undulation in it. It's kind of a reward for navigating your way up to that green.
Yeah, the back right portion of that green is much larger than it was, and and we actually added a lot of depth through the middle of the green as well.
Okay, cool. Let's take a look over at number 11, which was the last hole sprigged a week ago. Okay, Hal, here's number 11. This fairway was just sprigged a week ago. We can tell that you still got to go and finish that tee top, but as we've mentioned before, the tees really take no time for you to grow in.
No, yeah, as you can see, we do. That'll be the last tee complex that we complete. And as you said, we did sprig this hole 1 week ago today, and it's coming along pretty well.
Yes, we got the new target bunker out there on the right corner of the fairway.
Yeah, that doesn't really come into play much, does it, EJ?
No, even as you go and move up from one tee box to the other incrementally, that bunker's about 285 from the back tee. So, even those that are playing the proper tee, whether it be the 1, 2, 3, or 4, not many people are going to be able to get there. And if they do, it's probably going hot, and you probably want that bunker to stop it anyway.
It's a beautiful target off the tee, isn't it?
Yeah. So, as you can see here, what I want members to see is on the left-hand side of this fairway, where that concrete ends. This is another area where you're sprigging over the screen material that used to be the cart path, so you have a hard surface for more for the maintenance vehicles than anything to drive on. And then you told me that you're also going to cut that down to fairway height, so that's going to be pretty cool, a little fairway grass cart path instead of something that's rock hard like concrete.
Well, what we've noticed trying to grow these in, they don't grow in as well as the fairway portion where you have the soil. But they do grow in, and we did that on 9 Bay Island last year, and it worked out pretty good. So we'll see how it works out. But yeah, I do plan on just kind of delineating the path by using the fairway mower and cutting it down at fairway height, so you'll see where the path is.
So that's pretty cool. Instead of bouncing it off concrete, you might actually get a fairway lie.
Maybe.
So I think everybody will notice here on this green complex on number 11 is the removal and then downsizing of the bunkering around that green, and also the green now wraps around behind that bunker. And this green's really cool. I really like this. The members I brought out for the tours, they really thought it was a neat green with the different undulations in it.
Well, you talked about before how that it used to go back there. I don't know that it went back as far as it does now, but it did used to reach back around behind that first bunker. It is a really cool green.
Okay, let's jump over to number 12. Okay, here on number 12, as you look out towards those fairway bunkers, we got rid of the one fairway bunker. Give everybody a little bit more room there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we did. The other thing you'll notice is there was a small ridge that ran right through the middle of the fairway that kind of separated the approach from the fairway. We've eliminated that, and we also expanded the wall out to the left, making your approach larger as well.
Yeah, so kind of as we approach this green, a lot of people are going to see that green, the left side of it is over the water, but that lake actually got filled in right there to create a wider area to bounce the ball into. Before, there was no room there. Even after we put the old wall in and flattened it, it was still a really difficult shot. So as you come in through this little tongue in the front of the green, if you're bouncing it in there, you can still catch a ridge in the middle of the green that'll take it over to the left side that's over the water. So, you know, the low handicappers, they're probably gonna try to fly it to that left side, and those that don't hit it quite as far, they can bounce it right in and catch that ridge.
I tell you, there's something else we did that we haven't really talked much about, but down the left side of the hole along the lake, we've added like 3 or 4 catch basins so that your ball will slow down a little bit. Before, you just that fairway just kind of sloped towards the lake and just went right onto the lake. Now we've got 3 or 4 catch basins along there that'll help maybe catch a few balls that are trickling over that way.
Yeah, so so the hole looks a little bit meaner when you're standing out there, but there's a lot of things that are going to help out our average golfers when they play this hole. This has always been one of the most difficult holes on this back nine, too.
I love the way we connected the green complex with the 13T complex that we're standing on. It really opens it up and really makes for a beautiful vista, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was really, I mean, for lack of a better term, kind of junky right there.
Yeah, it was not attractive for sure.
Well, that's probably a better way to put it. You're very eloquent, Hal. Well, let's just jump right over here and do the flyover on number 13. See the fairway bunker on the left. We got rid of that bunker, came almost all the way back to those palm trees right there.
Yeah, this bunker is probably not even a quarter the size that the other bunker was.
Yeah, and so there's the new kind of target saving bunker on the right there that will stop some balls from going into the marsh. And what we've really concentrated on, we've talked about in another video as well, is that where that right bunker ends is where the left bunker begins. So once you play the new golf course and you understand your yardages, I personally think that the majority of golfers can just aim it right at that left bunker and be short of it.
That fairway is going to kind of weave around these bunkers a little bit, and I think the play is going to be to the left of the hole for the longer hitters for sure.
Okay, so the cross bunker out there where you lay up in front of or try to take it over it is about the same size out there, isn't it, Hal?
It's about the same. It's in the same footprint that it was in before, and I think it's roughly the same size.
Okay. So as we approach the green here, a lot of members that have been on the tours asked if that green got a lot bigger or we shoved it to the left. I think that generally what happened over the years was that green just shrank up so much that there was no left side of it anymore.
It's probably pretty much where it was before. I think it might be a little bit deeper than it was originally, but it's roughly about the same size.
Yeah, to me it feels like it was kind of like in the early 2000s.
Right.
Yes. Shortly after these greens were all regrassed.
That bunker in front's really attractive, isn't it? Look at the shadow on that face.
Yeah, it looks really good. We're standing here on the tee, and we can see the green from here, and that bunker looks just fantastic.
I like the addition of that bunker on the right side of the green. That's a nice saving bunker. It's attractive, but a lot of people are gonna, get caught in that bunker and not go into the preserve. So it'll save a lot of balls, I think.
Yeah, plus a lot of room back there behind the green.
A lot of room behind the green.
So if you don't want to mess with that front bunker and you go a little bit long, you still got a little chip shot coming back.
The other thing here, it's interesting, I think it's an improvement, is we've really opened up the front of that green a lot. The left side of that front bunker doesn't come over near as far to the left as it did. So that front of the green's fairly open now.
Excellent. Well, Hal, that was pretty cool to see those final 5 holes, and as they're starting to get grass in. I know you're really proud of this project. We've talked about it probably too much about how excited we are for this project versus, we spent so much time on Bay Island, and we've been going through the pandemic, and this project, didn't get talked about a whole lot until this summer. And the construction crew and your crew fighting through losing some guys, a lot of it through close contact, and having to sit out to be where we are today, looking at an on-time opening, is a great testament to you and your crew.
Well, it's been a challenge, sure, but you know, I tell you, it's been fun too. I mean, it's good to have something like this to do when you got all that kind of stuff going on. You know, you got a primary focus, and this is a great project. I mean, I really think that the members are going to be happy with what they get, what they see when they set foot on the golf course. I know they were happy with Bay Island, and I think that they're probably going to be even more impressed with Marsh. I really feel that way.
Yeah, I got that feeling too. So now we've got almost all the grass in the ground, except for a couple of tees. So now you just let it grow and you're all done, or you still got a little bit of work to do?
We got a lot of work to do, you know that. So, you know, to reach this point is really good. I mean, because, you know, you can't grow it unless it's on the ground. And so we're in a good position where we've got all the grass in place, and now we have just a little less than 3 months to complete the project. So, and that sounds like a long time, but I think you know from last year's experience that's not a long time.
Yeah,
and
just kind of keep ticking off on you, don't they?
Yeah, you know, and we are in the heart of hurricane season, so we dodged a bullet this week. Unfortunately, the folks in Louisiana and Texas did not.
Yeah.
But if something like that were to hit here, that would be devastating for sure, and then all bets would be off. But anyway, the weather has definitely cooperated with us this year. We've been very fortunate. We got a pretty good rain yesterday, but I went around here this morning and yesterday after it, and we didn't really take a lot of damage from that. So that's a good sign, because what we have is fairly well established now, and with every day it gets stronger and tighter, and will be more stable and be able to handle those heavy rains that, you know, that might occur. So, but anyway, from here, obviously we're going to let the grass fill in. We're going to get everything cut down to a one height and mow it for probably a good 6 weeks, and then about 6 weeks out we'll start, you know, laying out the golf course, trimming in the holes, you know, establishing perimeter lines and where we're cutting everything, and just get the greens tightened up. These greens, as I said, were 3 weeks old today. We've mowed them several times now. We top dressed them just the day before yesterday. They're looking really good. Matter of fact, they look better than the first 9 greens we did. And I think I can attribute that more to just we've had a little more rain during this period than we had when we were establishing the first 9 greens. So they should be fine. So the first 9 greens look beautiful, don't you think?
Yeah. You know, kind of especially looking at the 18th green, because they're really close to the clubhouse. I mean, it looks like it's ready. Yeah. It looks just as good, if not better, than when we open up a golf course coming out of renovation. So, I mean, that's not a good idea. It's just, I mean, it's good. I mean, it's like playable right now.
We're pushing it a little bit. You know, we wanted to make sure we did everything right last year, and we came in fine. So this year, you know, we're pushing it a little bit more. We have those greens over those first 9 greens down. We're mowing them at a lower height of cut now than we were at this time last year. So I think that we can get away with a little bit more, and I'm hoping, if everything goes well, that I can actually push these greens a little bit more during the season and get a little more speed out of them than I did Bay Island. So we'll see how it goes, though. You know, you don't know until you get there, and you just kind of, it's a feel process, as you know.
Well, I know for sure that myself and the members, that this late in the game, we're happy the ball's in your hands for sure, taking care of this as we move forward. So we're really looking forward to 6 weeks when we start defining the golf course and putting those cuts in there, and it's going to look really sharp. But as far as our next video update is, we're going to come back here in a couple of weeks, and we're going to go through, show everybody all of the par 3 tees for the entire golf course. We'll show all 18 holes and the view from the par 3 tees, which just a great addition. The closer we get to opening, and the members that are here, even the members I talked to on the phone, they're like, I'm really excited to see this par 3 golf course as part of the bigger golf course.
That should be a really cool video. I think everybody's going to really appreciate these 3 tees. They offer a whole different perspective for this golf course, don't they?
Yeah, they're pretty cool out there. So anyway, you know, thanks for your time. Thank you, Jordan, for coming out in the early morning sun that's still a little bit blazing, and we look forward to seeing everybody soon. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to contact Hal or myself at any time.
Yeah, thank you as well, EJ. It's been a blast doing these videos with you, and I really appreciate Jordan and Becky coming out and early in the morning and doing this as well. And so we'll see you in a few weeks, right?
Sounds good to me.
Take care.